According to the Florida Department of Health, every year in Florida, enough children to fill 3 to 4 preschool classrooms drown before they reach their 5th birthday. Being residents of Florida ourselves, this statistic gives us good reason to learn a little more about the facts that surround children drowning. As a father of 6 children myself, I have used this information that I am going to share with you today to help prevent my own children from becoming victims of drowning. S.J. Anderson stated in a 2000 article, Swimming Programs for Infants and Toddlers, published in the journal Pediatrics, that drowning is the leading cause of unintentional injury and death in the pediatric age group. With all of this in mind, the facts that surround the topic of child water safety certainly deserve a closer look. To get a better grasp of child water safety, I will give you some of the statistics that surrounding water safety and a few of the risk factors along with known preventions. Let's start with the statistics. I will share with you today some of the statistics that deal directly with Florida, as well as some of the general national statistics. Florida has now become the country's leader in drowning deaths for children in the age category of 1 to 4. In 2017, there were 61 drowning deaths of children in that 1 to 4-year-old age group in the state of Florida. This statistic reflects the American Academy of Pediatrics report that drowning is the leading cause of death for 1 to 2-year-olds in the state of Florida. And most of these drownings that occur are either in a bathtub or a bucket. A recent report has shown that 12 children have drowned from dying just since the beginning of March of 2020, and this is very disturbing. According to watersmartflorida.com, in each of these cases, the parent or caregiver became distracted with other responsibilities and lost track of the child. Aside from Florida, children drowning is a national issue as well. The CDC states that on average, 10 deaths each day in America are the result of drowning, and out of these 10 deaths, 2 involve children under the age of 14. Another statistic that is worth noting deals with the consumption of alcohol, where it is shown that up to 70% of water-related deaths involving both children and adults, the use of alcohol has been reported. Nationally, there is also a disparity in the drowning risk between African American adolescents and white adolescents, with African American children between the ages of 5 and 19 drowning at 5.5 times higher than that of white children. Even higher rates of 10 times more 11 to 12-year-old African American preteens drown than white preteens. But really, what good are all of these statistics without knowing some of the main risk factors that result in all of these tragedies? A 2015 study published in the journal Injury Prevention, written by Belinda A. Wallace, titled Interventions Associated with Drowning Prevention in Children and Adolescents, Systematic Literature Review, attempted to uncover the best way to prevent all children drownings, but ultimately found that no one strategy is independently effective in preventing all drowning. With this finding in mind, it becomes apparent that the best way to become informed about child water safety risks is to take each one of them very seriously. So here are a few. The first and greatest risk factor for children drowning is the improper level of supervision, which could also be the result of distracted supervisors or even no supervision at all. The CDC recommends touch supervision, which involves adults being close enough to quickly get to a child at all times. They also recommend that the adult in charge who is providing supervision wear a water watcher tag and that they not be involved in any distracting activity. The next risk factor that often leads to a child drowning is the lack of adequate barriers. Unfortunately, 90% of Florida's residential pools were built before the Residential Swimming Pool Safety Act was created and do not have the proper barriers. The use of barriers such as fences, gates, approved pool covers, and door and window alarms can be shown to reduce the risk of a child drowning by either preventing pool access to that child or alerting an adult of the child entering the pool area. The CDC claims that a 4-sided fence reduces the risk of a child drowning by 83%. Another risk that can lead to drowning is the presence of pool floats and toys. Toys can often lure a child into the pool area, and floats are not intended to be used in the place of life jackets, but can actually hide a child from view. Perhaps the most misunderstood risk factor is the concept of swimming skills. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends giving formal swimming lessons to children after their 4th birthday. The same organization reports that 5 to 10 million infants and preschool children receive swimming lessons, but that is not shown to either increase or decrease the likelihood of drowning. There are actually some experts that believe giving swimming lessons too soon may give parents a false sense of security about their child's water safety. The final risk factor I will discuss is the absence of someone who knows CPR. In the event of a child becoming submerged in water, the use of CPR can drastically improve the outcome of the situation. The importance of knowing CPR is acknowledged by the CDC, which has created the slogan, "Seconds Count, Learn CPR." It is my hope that you will take a time to look into all of these factors that I have spoken with you today, but also not just look into the factors that I have spoken about, but maybe find some new ones as well. Although there is a lot more to learn about child water safety, you should now have a better understanding about this important topic. I encourage you to tell others about some of the statistics and risk factors that you have heard today. And after all, what we have learned today could quite possibly help save a child's life from drowning. Because as stated by the CDC on their website in 2016, drowning can happen quickly and quietly anywhere there is water.